Welcome back to Champions, and it is Mad Life, of course, as your MVP. He has been undoubtedly the key player for this CJ Entus team this season, and he came up huge on that Bard.
Yeah, right here, that's what turned the game around, I feel like, at this point. Allowing Fly to utilize that ult.
Yeah, definitely got some nice setups there. Helped out with that, and then the disengage too. And so many three-man ults. What a great Tempered Fate too. Awesome play and follow-up by Sky and Kramer. Especially once again caught out. Great Cosmic Binding. And then the three-man, if that Cocoon had been up just in there, would have been another kill there.
Ifs.
Well, this play too, I mean, Expression getting onto the tank line and then ulting the tank straight up does absolutely nothing in this situation. Certainly Kramer delivered on a nice performance, but it was all about the setup from Mad Life.
You know, so when support's playing that well, as AD all you need to do is put out the damage.
Indeed, and you see the cleanup there from Kramer, gets a quadra kill to end the game, and Kramer's been performing when he has the right engages, but honestly, that game, Longzhu, they had a chance really to use Expression and his TP much better than they ended up actually taking it. Longzhu, when they are able to group as 5 and play poke compositions, they've been good. When they haven't done that, they've been very iffy.
Just when they had that Baron buff, they could have turned it around, but you know, CJ did very well pushing them off of that top tier 2 turret in general.
Yeah, and they couldn't dive either, of course, with the Nautilus. And whoa, 3 substitutions for Longzhu. Frozen, Crash, and Flame. This will be Crash's second game professionally ever. He actually did a very good job on Graves in his first game. He played some smart jungle, did some very good counter jungling. Frozen, it'll be his first game of the season, actually, coming in for Coco. And Flame here had an 0-2 defeat in his first couple of games, but Longzhu really mixing it up.
Yeah, nice to see Flame back in the LCK. I don't know how he's gonna do well with Captain Jack again on this team.
Wow, so this is a very interesting situation and a big shift from Longzhu after that loss. Very risky. Remember that Longzhu actually has the largest roster in the league right now with 9 members.
There's a lot of depth in their roster.
Yeah, there's a ton of depth. Technically, they have 10, but Fury is still banned until the beginning. Actually, it gets unbanned very soon. Should be about another week, I think. Yeah, another week, and he will be unbanned. So by the time we get back from the Lunar New Year break, he should be available for Longzhu to play. And at that point, they can make a full team substitution if they so choose.
Full on second roster.
There, of course, Coach Kong and Lust Boy in the booth. He'll be coaching 2 of his former teammates in Flame and Captain Jack in this second game. They kept Pure on, even though they do have a substitute support, Zeus. So here we go, Reach with CJ Entus, having some success in game number 1, and CJ just played a much better game than we've seen them play previously. So that Twisted Fate might come in as a ban now, especially because CJ's on red side.
I want to see if they still chooses to target ban Mad Life after that performance on Bard that he had.
I think you ban the TF and you ban the Victor this game if you are Longzhu, because you don't give Sky Victor and you don't give him TF, and then you see what else he has. So they're going to ban the Kalista. They don't want to take it as a first pick. Gangplank still up. CJ did ban Ryze, GP, and Kalista in game number 1. They are actually going to ban the Alistar. Interesting.
Respecting Pure in that department. For the last ban, as you said, it could be Victor, or it could be just standard bans like Gangplank.
I think you just ban the Victor here, but they're not going to have any of it. Lulu instead. So GP may well be the final ban in this draft. CJ didn't want to play it or have it first picked in the first game of the series. A long time to think about this. Could see CJ select Thresh on the first round of the draft, or they may be confident in their ability to play Bard, but that means GP is almost certainly going to be a first pick here. And with the Corki ban, we will not see Kramer on that champion. I think they're just going to try and take Lucian away.
Thresh being picked. One of Mad Life's go-to champion.
See lots of chatter in the CJ booth right now, as you can see Mad Life running over the options with the rest of his team, and they're just going to take Victor right off the bat. It was either going to be Victor or Lucian alongside this Thresh. Elise and Rek'Sai, of course, still available, so is Graves, so there's not a big squeeze on the jungle pick this game.
So, yeah, I want to see what they go for support now that Alistar banned out. Maybe go for the Trundle again.
Yeah. Pure is definitely one of the better Trundle support players that we have in Champions. He's delivered big on that pick in the past, but Lucian may well be the selection, and probably will be. Frozen has an option to take his mid laner a bit early here, since he already knows what the mid lane is going to be.
Probably maybe better to show the support at this point. Just hide the mid lane pick, just know to, so you can flex that GP pick.
Very true. Very true. So waiting to see what they're going to do. Showing two early solo lanes would be bold, but they're not going to do it. Instead, Crash is going to take the Nidalee. Now, we've only seen this guy play Graves. He was a smart jungler for his first appearance. I was actually impressed that he managed to take such a large CS lead by playing around the enemy jungler in the last match that Longzhu competed in, and he was able in a lane swap to really do a number in terms of out farming and had a very good sense of where the enemy could be.
Elise being hovered over again for a bubbling.
Pretty sure they'll go for the Elise. They've got a lot of pick potential with the Thresh and the Elise already, and they ran a pick comp successfully in the last one, so why make any large changes to your strategy if you had something that was already working?
Jinx we haven't really seen.
Whoa! This is the first Jinx of the season, in fact. Bold. Very bold.
Kramer has played a lot of Jinx previously when he was in the LMS.
Yes, but this is not a champion that we really see actively played these days. They're going to have a lot of opportunities for Jinx follow-ups to damage. Of course, with the Victor burst and the AoE, but what are they going to play in the top side? This might be another Maokai game for Antara, depending on how comfortable he feels. Gnar would be another good champion that we know exists in Antara's pool.
I feel like Gnar would be a better choice.
Yeah, the range matchup too would be nice, since he almost certainly is going against GP in that top lane. Frozen has long been a Syndra specialist, and we have seen Syndra in other leagues, just not here in Korea. NALCS running some Syndra.
Is picked.
The first Syndra game, first Jinx game. And the Bard, a staple of Pure's champion pool from last year. So Fiora for Antara, that would be a bit of a surprise. Antara hasn't been busting out that many carry top laners.
I feel like a zoning top laner would be better at this point. Let Jinx deal free damage from the backline with that also zoning potential from, was it Sky's Victor, so. But Fiora, also a very decent champion, I guess, can split push very hard.
I think you just build around Kramer too, so that he can actually hyper carry in this situation, because that is CJ is how you've been winning games, is basically protecting Kramer while he goes nuts.
Yeah, because like, why gamble at this point when you know you have a strategy that's worked against this Longzhu team?
I agree with you. I agree with you, Justin. But
Thank you.
we may see Fiora actually locked in as the counter runs down. So they're going to try and split push, but with this top GP, that split push may face a few difficulties with both carry top laners there. Definitely an ability for Gangplank to wave clear very efficiently in the late game and stop Fiora from actually putting on pressure. And the Syndra Well, this has long been one of Frozen's favorite champions over the years, and it's fun to see it back, and he is very confident against the low mobility Victor that he's going to be able to bully him around the lane and buy some time for Flame's GP to really ramp up and take over the late game.
Yeah, it seems like a similar composition. Pitcom with a late game scaling potential on both sides of it. Jinx definitely scales better than Lucian into that late game, but has a lot of mobility this Lucian. And Captain Jet has shown proficiency on it, even though last game it didn't work out very well for him. But
yeah, he's been great on it for the most part. Just had a few troubles. So Kramer and Madlife trying to keep Captain Jack down yet again. 3 new members of Longzhu coming into this game. Flame, Crash, and Frozen. A lot of stress put on Crash now. He's team's down 1-0 in this situation. He's only played 1 professional game ever. And now he's basically tasked with digging them out of this hole. Frozen is back. He's back on Syndra. We're going to get into game 2 right now. Longzhu versus CJ, game 2.
Find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on mother.
Welcome to game 2 of our 26th best of 3 this year. Will be between CJ Entus and Longzhu Gaming. CJ Entus with the upset victory.
Jay playing with no items.
He's got,
Okay, never mind.
yeah, he actually recalled right there and picked up the corrupting potion eventually, but a little bit of a gaffe at the start of the game from Flame. Got his ward down though. So now we are just going to wait in a typical fan, and I'm excited to see our first Syndra game of the year in Korea.
First Jinx game also.
First Jinx game also.
So much purple.
So
No
much
Lulu
purple.
though.
No Lulu, so there won't be any tasting, but definitely purple.
Love the perps.
Did she say that in Korean too? Tastes like purple?
Yeah. In that obnoxious voice.
So, no lane swaps this game. Both of our dual lanes preferring to be in that bottom side and taking Gromp and Krugs respectively. With junglers starting on the top side of the map, so be a bit of a time probably before we see any action. Utara deciding to show a Fiora, which has been uncharacteristic of him so far this season, but we are still very new to this season and very new to Utara, who is a brand new professional player this spring.
Yeah, I want to see how he does on the carry champion like Fiora. If I remember correct, this is first time him playing Fiora.
Yeah.
Right?
It's been a lot of tanks, Justin. It's been a lot of tanks.
Against Flame too, who's been known to be more of a carry-oriented top laner, trying to show something, I feel like.
Definitely a possibility. Flame on this GP. He's got a lot of weight on his late game play. Nice trade there from Sky, actually. Managing to get his Q off before getting the orb tossed right in his face. GP already starting with a little bit of an advantage here, but Utara just falling back, playing very defensively, wants to collect some of this CS underneath the turret. Posting a parlay. Just waiting this one out. Not looking to play aggressively early. Happy to farm underneath his turret. He's not going to have that jungle pressure, considering his jungler going to the opposite side of the map right now and taking blue. Crash a little bit faster on that clear, of course, for Italy, and looking to hop over the dragon pit and collect that scuttle crab. Oops. Well, he missed his spear. Gets the trap though by hurting the crab on top of it.
Yeah, bubbling again, going for that bottom lane pressure, I guess. Been the story of this CG's team, try to get that bot lane going.
Crash is a level up actually now. So he's just gonna push bubbling right off of that pure there. Great play there. And this is Crash for a rookie jungler. We've only seen one game in this little bit from him, but he just seems to have such great communication because he's very good at knowing when he can invade and counter jungle. And that's been something that has impressed me, at least at the very start of this guy's career. Yeah, but Jack just gonna get hooked right there, and there's the follow-up actually with the zap. Gonna get the ignite down and force a flash. So get the flash at the cost of the ignite. That's a great trade for the CJ lane. Jack is going to back off and pick up some of these heal packs.
It's always fun to see Mad Life on Thresh. Just his hooks.
So they know where it is though. Now they can play aggressively onto Flame. Are going to get the riposte off, but
Bad trade taken here though, so it's gonna force Mintaro to back and TP back into the lane.
yeah, they couldn't make it work with bubbling up there, and so they do. Said to just back off, and CJ already falling to a pretty hefty deficit as the CS lead from Flame begins to build up, and there's the TP back for Mintaro.
10 down actually at this point is pretty big.
Yeah, gonna collect some off the wave that was building up in favor of Flame, but still gonna be a few down when all is said and done. And the jungle lead too for Crash. He got back in there, got the deep wards, and then took out some more of these camps. So he's actually doing a number right now in Bubbling's jungle, taking that level advantage and really turning it into a substantial early game edge.
Yeah, great instincts, and as you talked about, it's not a thing we see on a lot of these rookie junglers.
I've just been very impressed with Crash. It's too early to tell though, Justin. We shouldn't get too excited. 1 point, 1 game from this guy, but his instincts at the professional level initially, his reads are very good.
The understanding that the bubbling was going to be in that bot lane, trying to pressure off, trying to give a little upper hand to this bot lane that seems to be carrying the CJ team in a lot of the games.
Yeah, Frozen also doing a good job of just pressuring Sky, getting a little bit of tower damage down and keeping Sky on the move here.
Super aggressive.
Well, that's how Syndra is. That's how Frozen loves to play her. I'm very excited to see Frozen Syndra's back. It's always one of those player-champion combinations that have been enjoyable to watch.
A little bit out of mana though at this point. Top lane backing.
And lots of Doran's rings in the mid lane. Each player trying to survive this early game and press up as much as they can. Crash continues his jungling now that he has taken about a 15 CS advantage. Sky actually going to get stunned up right there, and wow, Sky is just dead. And there's the follow-up from Pure. Longzhu gets the nice start on the game.
Both summoner used for Sky also, so they could, Crash could come in again and do the same thing. Nice stun by Frozen.
Yeah, Pure had to come through and actually use both of his summoners in order to pick that up, but now, same with Frozen, but they do have a certain level of pressure, so now we'll see how the junglers react to this summonerless situation in the mid lane, and whether Bubbling can follow up.
Bubbling now moving to that bot side that this lane is pushing.
Culling cut short right there. Mad Life just taking Kramer out on the Lantern. There we go. Mad Life actually just faking that his jungler is there at the moment. Bubbling actually coming from the other angle. There is a pink ward in the Tri-Brush. Most are going to get done is that taken out. Nice cocoon there to zone Captain Jack off to make sure they can actually kill the pink ward and keep their ward up. Which is not what they're going to do, as the pink ward goes right back down again.
Flame taking over this lane though right now.
I think that's the most disturbing aspect of this, Justin, is that you pick the Fiora into the Gangplank, and Gangplank with this kind of a lead is something that you are not going to be able to deal with in the late game.
Yeah, you can't pick a carry-oriented top laner and play passively at the same time and expect them to do the same thing in the late game. Like,
well, especially GP too, who gets so much of an advantage off that farm due to the extra gold he receives. If you're not keeping him down early, he is just going to have so many more items than you.
GP hit level 6, so gonna see how that ult transition into any ganks maybe going into mid lane or the bot lane.
Look at that damage too. Crash is coming into the mid lane, and he's just gonna pop right over into the side. Another great read by Crash. He knew, he sees Sky come back. So he's got two choices, Crash. When he comes back into that mid lane, as we see the action going down, Mad Life might be a bit caught out, but Captain Jack in trouble, has to take the magical journey. Box goes through, Rocket. Not enough to finish Jack and Tara with another TP into the top side, but here is Crash waiting. But Tara should know that Crash is there. They saw him hop into the Raptor pit. They're not going to try for the kill just yet, however. And that'll be a recall from Crash. But Crash, he comes into the mid lane. He knows that that turret's chipped and that Sky is likely at the blue buff. As soon as he sees Sky coming away with the blue buff, he immediately starts counter jungling and again gets the deep wards, wrecks the jungle of Bubbling on the top side, and then provides coverage while Flame pushes up. Just really good play with his teammates.
And chunks that mid lane turret too by a lot, now down to half health at this point. And Flame TP's back into the top lane, takes control over the lane again.
Yeah, this is a disaster for CJ early, just a complete disaster. Flame should not have this kind of advantage. Crash here, gonna get caught, and he's all by himself. He's gonna try and pounce his way out of this, and he will succeed. They're a little bit worried from Syndra. Kramer left alone in the bottom side with Mad Life there, prompts Captain Jack to move up with his culling and get some nice damage.
It's a little bit back and forth. Good to see Bubbling now invading with his support on the side though.
CJ actually probably should have played that better. I think Sky had a chance to come in and follow up on that hook onto Crash, but didn't actually come through, even though the wave was pushed up close to Frozen's turret. And they were pushed up in the bottom side. I think Sky could have done a lot more right there.
Flame heals right back up.
Big problem now. His GP is way too far ahead for 10 minutes.
And Syndra too. More than 10 CS in this one.
Morel and Amicon will be the first pickup. Crash is here, and he's coming in onto Antara. There's the ult. It's going to force the flash. Crash now gets the Fiora ult down onto him, but there's no follow-up. Flame is under the turret now, and he's going to get the finisher for sure. Just waiting for it. Easy kill. They get the flash also. Flame.
I want to see when the repost was used because it seems like he did not use that entire game.
Yeah, it may have been on cooldown from Parlay repost when he was further up in the lane. That could have been the call. But now the pressure coming in huge.
Bubbling trying to cover, but I don't know if he can do much.
Crash is up 87 to 40 CS on Bubbling. This is just a destruction of Bubbling in the jungle. Bubbling a new player too, but Crash definitely seems a lot more in tune with his teammates.
Yeah, like in a moment, CS lead has gone up from, the gold lead has gone up from 1,000 to 4,000.
Enormous. You are really not working out for Antara. They haven't done enough to lock down this gangplank, but they don't have follow-up CC from the top laner either. And Antara here not delivering, while Flame looks like he has a very easy laning situation, and he's been helped out quite a bit from Crash. Crash is just a monster at this point. I mean, you look at this, he's 3 levels up. He's 60 CS up. He has been dominating Bubbling's jungle. He has been everywhere stealing his farm.
And that's a big problem, being leveled down and having a less effect all over the map.
Oh yeah, and good luck trying to shut down GP now. Deep wards go in. Flame just has all the time in the world to sit here and freeze the lane and scale into that terrifying gangplank late game.
I feel like Bubbling should have tried to help out the top lane earlier in this game rather than trying to go bot, but...
Well, I mean, there just hasn't been a lot of plays to be made, and he's just been read so easily by Crash, who's up 5,900, 6,000 gold. Crash has the most gold in this game. at 6,000 so far. He's ahead of both of his solo lanes, including a Gangplank. He's in fact he is ahead of CS with Untara.
That's crazy.
That is incredible. Oh, it's going to be super hard to shut him down now. Does take a recall, so blue buff will go over to Sky. They set up a nice little zone right there.
I think it's definitely looking grim for CJ at this point.
Well, they're about to lose their mid lane turret. Their Jinx is not farmed enough to be truly relevant at this stage. And I think they're just going to slowly get pushed in across the map. That when they try and contest any Barons in the late game, they have the wherewithal to go ahead and just zone them out with GP barrels, with the Dark Spheres from Syndra. There's just no way you're going to be able to get into the objective. You cannot get through a choke point.
Now Sky can't really push up against Link because his flash is down. Ooh. Ow.
Yeah, big damage. Already the Abyssal Scepter complete for Crash, alongside the Runic Echo. And Frozen, Mad Life trying to see if he can get in here. He cannot. There's the Scatter of the Weak. Dodges that. And here comes Flame. Down to the mid lane. And they have 2 pink wards there, so his pathing is going to be a bit of a mystery. They're going to try and go for a dragon right now. Flame has his TP.
Just backing away. Like, with Crash this big now, I want to go back to that point again. If Sky moved down when they were invading that jungle, like, if he got that kill on Crash, could have slowed them down significantly, but now he's just all over the place.
As Bully Syndra does her work 15 minutes in, mid turret is gone. Gold lead at 6K. Captain Jack and Pure have held their own in this bottom side. And Pure picking up an early kill. So this is the last remaining outer turret, and the pressure is going to come in. Crash has every opportunity to dive right now. With that Abyssal Scepter complete with the Runic Echoes this early, his Cougar form is going to be super dangerous.
Down to the bot side.
They have GP ult available too. There's the culling, front-loading the damage. Kramer takes a huge hit. Crash is going to walk up on him. There we go. There's the GP ultimate. Crash going to try and finish this one up. Spear onto Mad Life. Mad Life forces the flash, gets the hook, but doesn't. Holy cow! Tempered Fate. Crash coming on through, and he's going to jump on him. A double kill. Crash is just a monster. Holy cow. Second professional game, everybody.
Showing them up on this middle E right now.
And I don't even know what to say. His Graves, I thought, was good. He played smart, but it wasn't this kind of lights-out jungle performance that we saw from him.
8.2k gold.
Just unbelievable. And who's going to stop this Nidalee? Great follow-up from Pure. We didn't even talk about that Tempered Fate, but really good use of that. And Crash is just enabling his team to take every single turret on the map at the moment. I mean, this, honestly, Justin, we've had some impressive jungle performances from Peanut and Score and Wing this season, but as far as this game goes, this might take the cake.
And again, it's a rookie jungler. He has no professional experience. Second game.
All right, so this is just such a great call. Crash comes in and flashes the Thresh play. Then is going to follow up, gets hooked, but he's too close. Runic Echo is going to do its work. What a great Tempered Fate right here. Backing off, has the Ignite on him, peels the minion wave away to get the angle, and then pounces forward. They get the turret at the same time.
Yeah, to save that bar ult till the end, just takes a lot of guts.
Crash is getting close to 100 CS advantage on the enemy jungler at 18 minutes. Holy moly. Well, they're trying to build up some tankiness at this stage, but
I don't think it's going to help out that much.
no, it's not. Not when you're 4 levels down. I mean, Crash is the highest leveled champion in this game by 2 levels. He's beating out his solo laners and the solo laners of the enemy team.
Yeah, we've been talking about Chaser's Nidalee, but Crash's Nidalee is something different from what we've seen before.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Chaser's a great mid-lane player, and maybe Crash is just having the best game he's ever going to have in his career, but just ridiculous.
3 core items at 19 minutes. Roa and Abyssal Scepter build.
On Italy, you are lucky if you have Runic Echoes and Roa at 19 minutes. To have an Abyssal Scepter and your cooldown boots complete on top of that is extraordinary. We'll try and take the Rift Herald right now. And they're going to get it. We'll see if Crash is going to take that one away. Nope, Captain Jack be the recipients as they want to push more into this top side. Tier 2 mid lane already gone. GP ult used by Flame to save his turret. Only 1 turret down in favor of CJ Entus.
Again, highest level as a jungler, that means something. That's definitely a jungle carry game.
I mean, to put it mildly, this is so unusual. Frozen now setting up for the pick with Tara. He's going to get scattered the weak. Oh, actually, nice riposte. Turns the sun around. Frozen might be in a bit of trouble right now. Has to use his ult, but he still picks up that kill. Captain Jack got the Herald buff, and he's got that tier 2 turret.
I thought he had follow-up from his team, from Madeline and Kramer being there, but the damage output from Frozen with the ult and the ignite just too much for this Tara to handle.
And now they're going to go for a Baron at spawn at 20 minutes. Carving through it. There is no vision on the map for CJ. They're going to try and stop this, but it's just going to be too late. It's already down to 2,000 HP. There's a nice ult straight onto Bubbling, so there's no chance at a steal. Crash going to get grabbed. He's just too tanky with the Rod of Ages and the Abyssal Scepter. They can't deal the damage.
Almost heal for like 150 health.
So 20-minute Baron now for Longzhu, who is just putting on a clinic in this game of how to play aggressive and snowball a lead with your jungler. Where did they find this guy?
Why couldn't CJ find this guy is my question.
Blasting Wand on top of everything else now. 1 tier 2 left. Flame also showing up this game, dominating the laning phase on Gangplank early, and then having some very good ultimate. Bubbling here. Fortunate to have his Spiderlings to block that, but he can't get his recall through. Another one dodged. But they're pushing up. They want this last tier 2. Wards are in the jungle. Flames TP and ult are available.
Italy Spear at this point is just nuke. Can't get even hit by one of them.
You know the one thing I'm sad about, Justin? We're not going to see Crash get 100 CS advantage in this game because he's just going to intelligently group with the Baron buff instead of farming the jungle.
It sucks that he's intelligent.
It's about the style points, right?
It was just a little bit stupid.
He'd be trying to style, but he's not. Last tier 2 down. Good wave clear from CJ, though. It may be a bit early for Longzhu to actually force their way into an inhibitor, even with the mammoth 13k gold lead that they possess at the moment.
And this GP doesn't really need to do much other than split push and farm.
Yep, and he can't be matched by Fiora at this point in time, not with Eye-Edge and Trinity Force done. Okay, there you go. Oh, wow. Bubbling getting chunked out. Maybe not the target you want to chunk, but they get Kramer with the stun, so they're slowly working away. The turret is almost nothing left, and now Flame just sitting there on the top side, putting down the barrels, setting up here to get that turret completely chunked down. Each of these turrets hanging by a thread. Gravity field goes down, gets the stun, but actually the spear still hits on the sky. GP ult is coming down. They accidentally hit the turret. Crash is going in. Crash is all alone now. It's maybe a bridge too far. Nope. He's actually going to get saved. Gets a heal at the end, and Pure there with the kill on the Bubbling. Jack follows up with a double on Untara and Madlife. And Longzhu, there is no respite here for the CJ team as they just power on through with these relatively low kill timers. Longzhu going to take this second game. Are they going to go right now, or are they going to back off? Okay, they're going to back off. This is the safe thing to do. Got 10 seconds left on Bubbling, 5 on Madlife. You got the 2 inhibitors. Don't get greedy.
No style points, though.
No style points, though. What a shame. It's okay. Crash still has time. I believe in him. He's got 11 minions. Let's take a look at that again. They tried. It was just an unfortunate placement. Had they been able to not hit the turret with the Bard ult, they would have been able just to push that down a little bit faster. Crash comes through and just dodging out of absolutely everything, pouncing away.
But that Bard ult was on point though. He chained it right into a double man CC with the stun with the Q. And we keep talking about Crash, but I also want to talk about Pure on this Bard, who's also been on point, having a great showing.
Yeah, he played a lot of Bard last year, actually. Pure, his Trundle and his Bard, top tier for sure. Frozen now after the blue buff. And now it's 12 CS. Bubbling keeps getting CS, Justin. I fear that the style points will not be gained. Longzhu nearly getting a perfect game. If not for that one tower that CJ got, we would be in perfect game territory right now. It's the only thing they've managed to put together. Flame gets hooked in, and CJ gonna get stopped there by the Bard ultimate. They rip out Sky on the Lantern, but everybody gets chunked. Gangplank ultimate now down, and they're looking for the final inhibitor here. Crash dodging a spear, or rather a hook there on the outside.
He's an intelligent player.
Yeah, and there we go, last turret. Protecting inhibitors will fall. There's the final inhibitor in a short 25 minutes. And here comes the last siege, more than likely. Trying to use the Dark Spheres and the Spears to get as much damage down as they can, force CJ back and whittle down to these turrets. And Tara in the front line, and he just gets destroyed. Yeah, that's it for him. Super Minions do their work on the inhibitor turrets or the Nexus turrets, and now we are going to go to a game 3. That is a takedown of the Nexus at 25 minutes. Captain Jack dies in the end to rob them of their lights out performance, but what an impressive second professional game from Crash. Holy cow. Ended that game, the highest level player in the game, nearly 100 CS up on the enemy jungler at 25 minutes. Level 16 at 25 minutes. The highest amount of gold in the game. What? What?
Not a clinic.
Yeah, I had just such great counter jungling, running circles around Bubbling, playing around the pressure on the map absolutely beautifully. And we'll see. 2 games, he's played very well in both of them. That game was absolutely incredible. If he can keep up this pace, as a rookie, it will be mind-boggling.
Yeah, we might be seeing one of the greater junglers being developed in Korea.
Absolutely, if he can keep playing like that, there's no question. Definitely a player to watch. He actually did the most damage to champions in that game too. So, it's absolutely showing up. And we are going to go into a game 3, Longzhu with an easy win, replacing 3 members of their roster. I imagine we'll be seeing Flame, Crash, and Frozen once again as they attempt to close out this series. First game was a bit of a grinder. Second game, lights out from Longzhu. Wow. I did not expect to see that after a 3-man substitution.
Me neither.
All right, guys, we are going to go into the 3rd game of our series after a short little break. We'll see you in a few.